Welcome to the Nerd Party.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Missing Frames. I'm Shawn Eastridge, and I'm joined here by my co-host, Alex Beard.
Welcome. Hello.
Hello to you, Alex. Thank you for being here with me.
Yeah,
I always love to see your
me.
beautiful face, and I wish the people at home could see what I'm seeing right now.
It's a smiling bundle of joy.
And it's tattooed on your chest.
Yes.
And it's a little disturbing.
I'm Two-Face.
Yeah, but I love it. I love it. It's good. It helps me feel more cheerful. So we're here today, and we are going to be talking about a little ditty that what better way to follow up the greatest film of all time than with a movie that a lot of people love. I guess you could consider it a classic in some form, maybe cult classic, and that is the 1984 film Gremlins. So Alex, how do you feel about this beforehand? I don't think either of us have seen this movie.
Nope, I have not seen this film.
How excited are you for this?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I think I'm like a -2.
I don't think... I'd say I'm probably more excited than that. I've heard good things. I know a lot of friends of mine really, really enjoy this movie. They grew up with it. It seems like one of those movies that maybe you might have needed to grow up with.
That's the thing. See, the other day I was watching, I started watching Neverending Story. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
And that was one of those ones where everyone was like, oh, you'll love it so much. And I had to stop.
Oh, no.
Like about 20 minutes in, just because I was like, this is a film that I should have seen as a child and that I didn't.
See, I saw that one as a kid and I love it. But I can see how somebody might sit down and watch that and
now,
be a little like...
That's why I'm afraid, because that just happened. Now I'm
Yes.
afraid to watch Gremlins, because it's going to
Hopefully this won't be a repeat experience.
I hope not. I hope not.
But there are a couple fun facts about this that we'll go into. So first of all, this was released June 8th, 1984. It was released at a time where horror and comedy had kind of two genres that weren't typically seen going hand in hand with each other, were all of a sudden becoming like more often seen together, like with Ghostbusters and things like that. So I think Gremlins was an attempt to capitalize off that success. You had Ghostbusters, an American Werewolf in London, and people loved seeing the juxtaposition of those two genres that don't necessarily fit, but when you put them together in the right way, all of a sudden kind of create a whole new wonderful kind of combination of laughs and scares. So this came out right around that time. And it was actually a spec script written by none other than Chris Columbus, the founder of our great nation.
Wow.
Yeah, back in 1492, he got here and was like, you know what? I'm going to write this movie.
This film was built on the backs of Native Americans.
Yes. So while we want to make sure we get this message out there, while we acknowledge Chris Columbus's contributions to cinema, we do not endorse in any way him as a human being.
That we do not.
But Chris Columbus, for those of you who don't know he was not the founder of this wonderful nation and the one who ruined all the Indians' lives, or Native Americans, I guess I should say, if I want to be correct. Please don't hate me. But he directed Home Alone 1 and 2, and also more impressively, he directed the first two Harry Potter movies,
just some small
art
film,
artsy films, not quite so mainstream. So I will forgive you if those slipped under your radar. But he wrote this as a spec script. He was not actually intending for this to be his first movie. He said he got the idea, like he was hanging out in his loft, and he said what sounded like a platoon of mice would come out, and to hear them skittering around in the blackness was really creepy. So that's where he got the idea for Gremlins. And he really wrote the script just as a means to show people in the industry, like, hey, I can write a script. And Steven Spielberg happened to get a hold of it and was like, I like this. Let's make this into a movie. So they bought it from him, and they hired Joe Dante to direct it. And I don't know how much he'd done at that point, but this is also the guy who directed The Burbs with Tom Hanks, which, have you seen that?
It's great. I have seen it.
Pretty fantastic.
Fantastic.
I haven't seen it in a while. Maybe somebody, one of our co-hosts, hasn't seen that movie, and we can make it a thing.
Joe Dante also did one of my favorites,
which is
Small Soldiers.
Yes, I love Small Soldiers.
Too good.
That's another one I haven't seen in a while, but that's one of those ones that is like weirdly violent, like weirdly somewhere in between. Like, I remember it was kind of marketed to kids, and then it was a little rougher than I think like a young audience probably should have seen, which funnily enough also can relate to Gremlins, because apparently this movie is a little edgy for a PG rated film. And I didn't even know this. Apparently this, combined with Temple of Doom being released in the same year, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, these two movies are what prompted Steven Spielberg to present the idea of a PG-13 rating, a rating between PG and R. Not quite violent enough to be R, but a little edgier than a PG rating should allow for. So I always thought it was just Temple of Doom, but apparently Gremlins played a part in that as well.
My -2 score has gone up to -1.
There we go.
I'm intrigued now.
We're making progress here. Yeah, so there's that. You got that going for it. My excitement level, I'd say moderate at best. My wife, she loves this movie. I've talked to a couple other people who like it, so I don't know. I've got my fingers crossed. I'm hoping something good will come of this. And it's kind of, we wanted to do something sort of Halloween related, but by the time this episode airs, it won't be Halloween anymore. We'll be
Merry Christmas.
Woo! Party time. And this movie, as far as I'm aware, kind of falls into that like horror Christmas movie gray area where you can watch it either or. So why don't you say, well, let's go ahead and break, and we're going to watch this movie, and then we're going to come back, and you're going to hear all about what we thought about the madness that is Gremlins.
I can't wait.
Oh, I know. I can feel it.
Now available to own on video cassette.
All right, we're done. We watched Gremlins, and we are back, and we're ready to discuss. I don't know, Alex, you look pretty chipper over there. What did you think of the family Christmas horror comedy supposed classic Gremlins?
It was a wild, romping ride.
Yeah.
It went places. Let me tell you. It went from one place to another,
to another.
Yeah.
Yeah. I not sure I'm a fan of that movie.
Neither am I.
How depressing. People are going to hate us. This is our second episode, and I don't think I've talked to a person who doesn't like this movie. So we better have a good defense of ourselves, because right now I think people are they're writing letters.
So
they're writing mean letters.
In our
us.
defense, we didn't see this as children.
Yeah, like we were saying before, that might have something to do with this.
I think it has a lot to do with it.
I think a lot of people I know did grow up with this movie. And look, okay, so I thought the animatronics were great. The effects were great. Gizmo was adorable. I liked the dog. I liked all the animals. I don't feel like this movie was, like you said, literally all over the place. I couldn't quite get a handle on it, and then it just kind of set everything up with the characters and all these situations, and it kind of just abandoned it and was like, you know what, let's just have crazy creatures running around and killing everybody.
Yep.
And it just kind of dissolved into chaos. And I thought the first half of the movie, I was kind of bored, and I was like, all right, it's cute, and I know something's going to go wrong eventually. And when things started to go wrong, I thought I was going to like it way more than I did. But it kind of just the whole movie just dissolved into this kind of incoherent mess.
The setup was great. Like I was getting into it. I was enjoying it. Like I mean, it was a little kooky and goofy, but for the most part, I was having a good time. And then it maybe I'm just a triggered individual, but it was just like, what is happening? It's just like senseless, just running around and like, oh, we're so wacky. The way I describe this movie is that, like when you were a kid, there was that one kid on your street or on your block that just completely destroyed everything. Would like grab sticks and like hit cars and like would push you. And then if you had a new toy, he would probably accidentally break it. But by accidentally, really, it's just because he was too forceful with everything.
Right.
This was that child's favorite movie.
No, you're exactly right.
Just tiny monsters.
So just the movie starts, and I was not expecting this. It was a weird opening. It was like we open on the abandoned set of Blade Runner, and this guy's in Chinatown. I thought it was a flashback. Like I thought it was like, oh, this guy unlocks this ancient evil or something. It was just so like. It's the main character's dad, Mr. Peltzer, Billy Peltzer's dad, is shopping in this weird like back alley part of Chinatown and goes into the stereotypical Asian's shop and is like, I want to sell you something, and then happens upon this like cuddly creature that we don't see at the time. But he's like, oh, I want to buy this. Yeah. And I
really enjoyed the 1984-85 trope of small Asian boy, which is wearing a New York Yankees cap and being, I guess, a sidekick to someone.
I don't know. Yeah,
the comparison
clearly, since Temple of Doom and this movie were both released in the same year. I want to know who ripped who off with this. I mean, Spielberg produced. He directed Temple of Doom and he produced this movie. So I wonder if he was just really into Asian kids with Yankees.
Like, have they not met Asian children?
I guess not. I mean, this is like they were like all Asians want to be Yankees.
It's true. It's true.
So he walks in, and so he goes and he's like, "Oh, I've got to get this for my kid." And the old Asian man is like, "I will not sell it." But then the kid like sneaks out, and he's like,
"We need the money.
You can have him anyway." And the dad just buys it, even though this kid is like, okay, 3 things. Do not let it touch water. Do not let it go out in sunlight. And don't feed it after midnight. And it's like, no biggie. It's like, wait a second. You're about... You just grabbed this creature from a really creepy shop, and this kid's like telling you, oh, don't do these things that are like you can't avoid if you try. It's like, don't eat after midnight. Don't let it touch water. It's like, okay, maybe think twice about giving this present to your son that you know nothing about.
If I've learned anything from this film, it's that you shouldn't buy exotic pets because they're dangerous.
Well, some people, what's shocking to me is some critics have, and maybe okay, yes, I guess I can see this, but some critics have like been like, "Oh, what a brilliant film! It's all about consumerism, and like maybe don't buy that toy for your kid; it'll turn them into a monster." I guess they're trying to look for like a subtext of like, "Oh, there's an anti-consumer message in there."
Well, what the irony of that is, though, is that so Steven Spielberg, he was involved in this, and what really kicked off the whole film toy market was E.T. was like a big resurgence of like selling merchandise.
Well, yeah, Star Wars, and then E.T. definitely kicked it up to another level.
Yeah, because you have the video games, which Gremlins did have a video game I'm reading about, and I'm sure that was just dandy. I'm sure that was amazing. And supposedly there were a number of Gizmo toys and plushes available.
Well, there you go. So how about that anti-consumerism message?
Way to go.
Way to go, Hollywood. So this dad buys this creature, brings him home to his son. And by the way, and maybe I should have said this ahead of time, but this is an old movie, so I guess a spoilers tag isn't necessary. If you're listening to this right now, you probably should have realized by this point that we are going to probably spoil the entire movie. So if you really, really want to watch Gremlins, and you haven't already because you're dumb like us, or maybe you're smart considering our reactions. Just a fair warning, we are going to kind of walk through the plot and spoil this movie. But so this kid's dad, Billy Peltzer, his dad comes home and is like, here, just take this pet, and doesn't give him any instructions. And then right away the mom's like, let me take a picture of him with this bright flash. And then after after Gizmo, the little cutesy gremlin thing goes crazy, the dad's like, oh, yeah. By the way, it's very important that you don't use bright, that you don't put it in light, you don't put water on it. And it's like he forgot and these very important things he just forgot. Give this mysterious animal to your son, and then forget to tell him the very important rules that you weren't really all that interested in when they were being told to you earlier on.
Yeah, he just completely ignored all those facts. I'm telling you, folks, don't buy exotic animals because there's a lot of rules that go with them.
Not in Chinatown. Not in Chinatown, a.k.a. L.A. of the future.
If he only knew Cantonese, he would know that the gizmo is a mogwai, which means monster.
Yeah,
so, way to go.
It literally translates to, I think, like monster or like demon or something like that.
Yeah.
So, there you go. Anyway, so this whole part of the movie is unfolding really like leisurely. Like I don't know if you felt that too. It felt really kind of slow paced.
It was
like,
it was
very,
a little slow, but I was willing to go with it.
Okay, I was a little like, all right, get to the point. It was a little like, oh, it's so cute, and it's like all these goofy antics, like the dad's an inventor, and all these terrible inventions
which
around the house.
I want to talk
going wrong
for a moment about inventor fathers because I've met some people that have made things that have invented things that have gone on to like sell the patent and to a larger company and make a little bit of money. But I have never in my life met someone as the disheveled inventor father that makes just garbage products that don't work, and it's like the family puts up with it like,
it's
Dad.
definitely it is a trope that exists, and I think was really perfected by Rick Moranis in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yes.
And after that we never really saw it again. But it is funny that it's just like, oh, these crazy inventions that are always exploding and ruining our lives. My silly husband, like the wife is very like accommodating of her husband.
That was like a huge thing in the 80s, was just this idea that like all inventors are just like nutso, which
they can't just like they come up with the most inconvenient ways to do things that are pretty convenient already.
Like cracking eggs.
Like there's a scene, the cracking eggs, the scene where she tries to answer the phone with a remote because she's like about 2 feet away and it just doesn't answer. And finally she's just like, nah, I guess I have to go pick up the phone. And it was like, well, maybe you should have spent some time inventing something a little more convenient.
It's funny. It's like, you get these inventor fathers that literally have no education in whatever they're trying to build, and it's garbage. They make garbage.
So
make their families' lives hell.
Miserable. But, they seem pretty happy until things go crazy with this thing. So, of course, Billy's friend, this Corey Feldman.
A small child.
Who's like...
how old is Billy?
Billy looks like he's at least like... I think he's supposed to be 17. He looks like he's 30. No, he probably is about, my guess is 17 or 18 or supposed to be. And this like kid who sells trees or delivers Christmas trees just comes over and is like, "Hey, Billy, what's up?" And it's like, oh, I guess he hangs out with 10-year-olds regularly.
Yeah.
And the stupid bratty Corey Feldman, pre-music career Corey Feldman, I want to point out. And really the only Corey Feldman worth knowing about is post-music career. But he comes in, spills water on the little creature. It's Mogwai is like the name for it, but it's Gizmo. They call him Gizmo.
That's right.
And he spills water on it, and he spawns a bunch more gremlins. And these ones are a little bit more of troublemakers. They cause all kinds of insanity and mayhem. And around this point in the movie, I'm starting to feel like, okay, so something is going on with these, and I don't know what. They're just like, it's like literally they're just like goofing off and like being like crazy and laughing, and just it's like, what is the plot of this movie?
So what's great about Gizmo is they actually do establish somewhat of a character for him.
Yeah.
And they also do that with the, I guess, antagonist Stripe. But
they give
of them,
him it's like he has a stripe. I guess he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Like,
so
right.
But the rest of them are just like these disheveled characters that don't really have any personality other than that they're just awful.
Yeah, they're just, it's like, oh, these there's the cute one, Gizmo, who all the kids want to buy, anti-consumerism, and then you have just the crazy ones. And so it's about halfway through the movie. It feels like it's halfway through the movie by this point, and then they eat after midnight because Billy's clock is wrong.
Yeah.
After Billy delivers one of them to like maybe the worst. I guess this is a high school teacher, and he's like, "Oh, you're a scientist. You can figure this out." And the guy's
He's the
like,
town
yeah,
scientist.
sure, why not?
Burning the
and
midnight
the guy,
oil.
this terrible teacher is just like, "This won't hurt a bit," and he sticks the creature with a shot. He's like, "I told you it wouldn't hurt." It's like you could have picked a less evil chemistry teacher to perform these experiments. But then of course, so all the creatures end up eating food after midnight because Billy's alarm clock is not the right time. And then these like mysterious, he wakes up the next morning and he's like, "Mom, come into my room. What's going on?" And she comes upstairs and there are literally these terrifying pods.
Dinosaur eggs.
Yeah, just dinosaur eggs, like pods. They had scenes from Invasion of the Body Snatchers playing in the background. So it's like, okay, clearly a reference to that movie. But these pods are just in his room. And it's like, oh no, what are they going to do? And he and his mom sit there and they're like, "This is weird, isn't it?" "Yeah, it is weird." "All right, well, see you later."
Oh, well.
And they just leave the pods in the room.
Most ridiculous character choice ever. Like, oh, this is weird. Whatever.
This movie kind of started with a ridiculous, like, I'm going to give my son this potentially dangerous creature, and then the rest of the movie, I guess the Peltzers just aren't that concerned with, like, safety or
That
just
in-
common sense. Like, oh, maybe we shouldn't let this creature into our home. Maybe these creepy pods, probably shouldn't leave them in our son's bedroom. Maybe we should get rid of them or destroy them.
I think you just become numb when you have a father, like Billy does. Just like, screw it.
Just another one of those crazy inventions. I think you're right. They've become
Just cleaned up.
desensitized.
My morning started with cleaning up orange froth off the walls, and now I got these giant pods in my room. Oh, well.
That's exactly right. Hello, everyone. We are going to take a quick break here to give a shout out to our sponsor. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why did you have to interrupt this wonderful program for a sponsor shout out? But I promise you will not regret listening to this. Look, we are doing a special deal with Loot Crate. Now, Loot Crate is awesome enough. They offer these amazing things for less than $20 a month, like all sorts of crazy, cool geek items that you will love. And we have an exclusive crate dealing with the theme of magic. What's not to love about magic? I mean, you've got Doctor Strange, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, etc. So much fun stuff. And we are offering this special deal. If you sign up for Loot Crate before November 19th at 9 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, you will get this awesome discount. Just go to www.lootcrate.com/nerdparty and enter the code nerdparty and you will save money. What's not to love about that? And you have to make sure you get to it before November 19th. Otherwise, the deal will no longer be around. So don't miss out on this awesome, fantastic, beautiful opportunity. I think I might even do it right now. So you do the same, and let's go ahead and get back to our regularly scheduled program. God, it's really hard to say regularly. So all this stuff is going on. So the creatures turn into pods, and you just know something bad's going to happen. And they hatch, and of course, they're all of a sudden these terrifying monsters, and they start wreaking all kinds of havoc and killing everybody.
Yeah, antics
It's
to the
it's
extreme.
great. And I will say, I thought one of maybe the most effective sequence of the film for me personally was the scene with Mrs. Peltzer at home alone, fighting off the gremlins. And that's also when the movie, as we were saying in the segment before we watched the movie, that this kind of spawned the PG-13 rating because some people felt it was too intense for kids.
Yeah, I mean, it
which
definitely cranked it up a notch for sure.
Yeah, so this sequence where Billy calls his mom and he's like, "Get out of there," and the gremlins cut the phone line, so she's in there alone walking around with like creepy Christmas music playing, and then they attack her and she murders all the gremlins in maybe the most violent ways. And it's great. That was probably my favorite part of the movie, not because of the fact that she murders them in violent ways, but it was actually really effectively staged and it had some really great suspense. But she puts one in a blender, she puts one in a microwave and it explodes, and she stabs another one to death.
That's
how do
scientifically.
you feel about that?
The microwave one was scientifically accurate. I mean, you're going to
did.
explode.
The
It's
filmmakers
brilliant.
did their research. Mr.
Yeah.
Columbus, way to go.
Excellent work. No, that was the only. Truthfully, that was the only sequence that I enjoyed with those, with the newly developed, evolved monsters.
So you didn't like them at all, in any context?
No, not later. The Gremlins just, I was not.
What was it
feeling
about them that drove you crazy or made you not like them?
everything? No, I just they didn't. Like I said, like it was just a mob of terrible things.
Yes.
So I didn't enjoy it because one, I had no, like I didn't care. I wanted them to die, but like there were so many of them. It's like,
by this point, just let them take over.
Yeah.
And I think part of the problem is, and again, this is maybe going a little too in depth with this movie, but who cares? It's our podcast. We can do whatever we want. But I didn't care about anybody in this movie.
No,
like
yeah,
I didn't. Billy
no.
Peltzer is kind of a blank slate. You have these plot lines set up early on, like this mean old lady who wants to like kill his dog.
Yep.
She's like, for some reason, Billy brings his dog to work because that's normal. And she's like, your dog ruined the snowman on my lawn. And then, of course, the dog jumps up and attacks her. And she's like, I'm going to get rid of that dog. And I'm like, oh, I guess this will come back later. And then it never comes back.
Yep.
She just shows up later to get killed by one of the gremlins. I guess they wanted to make her so unlikable so that when she dies,
people laugh and cheer.
Yeah, they laugh and cheer and they don't realize,
Right.
like, oh, an old woman just got murdered.
With just a disclaimer, though, if you laughed and cheered when that poor old lady died, you are sick.
When she got tossed out of that motorized chair going 88 miles per hour,
You are
out
sick.
the window. And speaking of 88 miles per hour, Alex, you pointed out something.
I noticed this very quickly.
yeah.
That actually was filmed on Universal's Courthouse Square, also known as Mockingbird Square, because that's where To Kill a Mockingbird was filmed.
Oh.
But a lot of you will probably recognize the set as potentially a small art film Back to the Future,
Right, and it's
filmed 1 year later.
Yep.
I just immediately started noticing. I was like, wait a second. That's the clock tower. That's the high school.
Yep.
That's the shop that...
And as soon as you pointed it out to me, I was like, yeah, I think so. And then the high school was what did it. And then the hall, the alley where you're like, oh my God, that's where he tried on his future Nikes.
Yep.
But yeah, this was very clearly the Back to the Future set.
And because there was so little time between the two films in terms of production, really not a whole lot had changed. Like very, very small details, which like when I look at this list of all the productions that have happened at this set, I mean, we're going all the way from Ma and Pa Kettle back in 1949 to the most recent being in 2012, there was The Campaign filmed on this set. So, I mean, and there's like all kinds of big films that have happened on here. The Nutty Professor, Magnum P.I. was also on this, Weird Science, Jingle All the Way. I mean, just so many fun films have been filmed on this set. And the other thing that's interesting about this too is, I didn't know this, there have been in 2008, there was a 3-alarm fire, basically completely destroyed the place. And so they it destroyed the courthouse facade at the very least. So basically they had to clean that up and rebuild it.
It was the Gremlins.
Yeah, it was the
The
Gremlins.
Gremlins did it.
The Gremlins did it.
So that it was, as soon as you pointed it out to me, it was like, oh my God, I couldn't stop thinking about it. And
because I'm sure like set decorators, they've gone through and they changed probably pretty significant elements, but even like the building colors were the same.
Everything was the same. It was,
Back to
I
the
mean,
Future.
and probably because the turnaround time
It
was
was so quick.
quick. It looked exactly like they literally just like changed the set dressing, and
Yeah.
that was it. Everything else
changed-
stayed the same.
Changed names from what was this? This film was Kingston Falls. Kingston Falls.
They just painted over, and we're
Yep.
like Hill Valley.
Hill Valley.
There
it
you
is.
go. So yeah, so
Which where was this supposed to be?
I think it's just on the back lot. On the back lot of Universal.
America?
That's it. Which is weird.
It
It's
is
a
America.
Warner Brothers movie. I wonder if Spielberg was just like, let me do whatever I want. And they were like, yes, please give us money. So this movie, you don't really care about the characters. There are plot lines that are kind of, they show up early on that sort of disappear and don't really amount to anything. And then the movie kind of just dissolves into like gremlins causing chaos.
Yep.
And it is ridiculous. And it's violent. I mean, Billy is getting shot with like a crossbow and just
like
bleeding from head wounds. And
the Gremlins get guns, and it's like, really?
Yeah, the Gremlins are using like revolvers, and it's like, what?
They're also
Why?
like baby revolvers too.
Yeah.
I will say though that with this film, a lot of the animatronics that they used, they were very cool. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of it looked really cool. There was one stop motion sequence that was like, oh,
yeah,
that wasn't good. Where there was a giant mob of them running in the street.
Right.
That was a little rough looking, but the rest of it, I mean, really held up.
No, the animatronics were, I think, the most impressive part. It was very clear that I think at some point somebody said like, this is what this movie has going for it. Just put as much of that into this movie as you can.
Yeah.
Because the Gizmo and the other Gremlins like look amazing, and they're very expressive, and they have very strong personalities, and it's really, I mean, it is really impressive and really cool to see that kind of technology, because we don't really see it that much anymore. So to see it in like its heyday, like just being utilized really well, was very cool.
I mean, it's pretty amazing what you can do with $11 million in 1984.
Yeah,
especially when only like $10 is going to Chris Columbus for writing that awful script.
So let me ask you something. How much do you think this movie made at the box office?
Oh, let me take a guess here. Given that it was well received, I'm going to take the ballpark guess of like $150 million.
You were right on point. It
really?
was $11 million budget, $150 million gross.
Yes.
And that's those dollars back in the 1984 days.
That's
so
good
I don't know
money.
what that translates to, but either way, it translates to like, we need a sequel right now, which is strange because the sequel didn't come out till I think 6 years later, and then it did not make a profit.
Yeah.
So very interesting that was so delayed, and I'm not sure why. They should have jumped on that.
Yeah.
So the movie kind of dissolves into this climax where, you know, everyone's getting murdered. I thought it was so funny that he goes to the police. Billy goes to the police and is like, look, this is the creature. They're taking over. All these problems around the town. This is what's happening. And he shows them Gizmo. And they're like, oh, how interesting. But listen, kid, you're a little kooky. And then they go out and they realize, oh, the kid's right. I thought it was so funny that the kid had brought proof of like the creature exists. And then they're like, oh, yeah, well, you're still a little weird.
Classic small town police.
I know, those police, they don't buy anything. But yeah, I don't know.
Just the timeline of the film, like it's like Chris Columbus never went to school, because they say it's Christmas Eve, but there are kids watching in science class that day that they say it's Christmas Eve. They're watching a film about hearts. So like, what kind of school system is having class on Christmas Eve?
I don't know. The worst school system. And then really we only see Billy and then his girlfriend, the love interest, Phoebe Cates, plays Kate, and she is like, she's beautiful, and like they're like, oh, she works apparently everywhere. She works with Billy at the bank. She works at a bar, and then when the Gremlins come and start terrorizing, for some reason she's still serving at the bar, just like, okay, I'll get you your drink. And she didn't run away for some reason. But it's very interesting. There's a romance between her and Billy that never quite gels, and then there's a random scene where she's like, this is just making me hate Christmas even more, and she finally, out of the blue, just tells Billy why she hates Christmas, because her dad died in a chimney trying to pretend to be Santa Claus, and she goes, and that's how I found out Santa Claus isn't real. And it's like, wow,
this is why this movie needed a PG-13 rating.
I know, ruining kids'
Christmas
lives.
Was ruined for so many children this year. 1984 was a bad year. Kids opened up presents on Christmas Eve. They got a plush Gizmo, and they just started crying again because they remembered.
They were reminded that Santa Claus did not bring them that Gizmo. But
this is a lie.
It just speaks to this movie's kind of disjointed, like unfocused mentality, where it's like, oh, let's fit in this really heartbreaking, kind of like matured, really depressing story.
I'm gonna go on a whim here and say I don't like Chris Columbus. I don't think I ever have, and this really just affirmed that.
Oh, you don't like Home Alone? Not even Lost in New York?
I like it enough, but man, I just don't like Chris Columbus. If I could sit down with him and just ask him what was he thinking for so many of his artistic decisions, I would love to just hear what he has to say.
I wonder how much of this is his fault versus Joe Dante, the director's fault.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
That's a good question.
I heard the script that Chris Columbus originally wrote was much darker.
Okay.
And I think they kind of messed around with it to make it a little more family friendly so they can get some more monies. Dante, his direction is pretty standard for the most part in this movie. Like I said, I think the most inspired sequence is when the mom is at home alone with the Gremlins and Home Alone, no pun intended. But that sequence I thought was really great. And he does a good job staging the effects and the action and things like that. But for the most part, it felt pretty just kind of bland, uninspired. It was just kind of like, all right, whatever. Like the creatures really were what made the movie.
Yeah.
And I think that's why a lot of people love them. I think Gizmo is why a lot of people really love this movie, and not so much Mr. Peltzer, who is a character we're supposed to be investing in.
Yep.
So the movie concludes with the movie theater. They go, all the Gremlins are in there. They blow up the movie theater. I remember you were just sitting next to me going like, what is happening in this movie? Like all the Gremlins are singing along to Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And it really, by that point, feels like this movie is just a showcase for like these special effects. Like they were so proud. They spent so much money on these things. I guess they felt
Look at
really
this movie theater filled. These are not CGI. These are, every single one is either a puppeteer or some form of animatronic.
Which is, I mean, yes, that is impressive, but good special effects do not a great movie make.
No.
So the fact that this movie has positive, like such a positive reception, what do you think it is about this movie that, like, I mean, we've already talked about people who grew up with the movie and kind of have that nostalgia for it and love it because of that, but this movie,
I'm not gonna lie, I like some dumb movies that I saw as a kid, just some awful garbage films. So I'm just gonna say that probably I bet 40% of the people that are diehard fans of this are because of nostalgia.
Right.
And then I think the rest are just, they fall in that category of just like that crappy kid that lived on your street that kicked you in the shin.
Right.
And that's it. That's 100%
You just wanted to be a gremlin, so you ruined your life.
That's 100% of the makeup of the group.
So what does this have on Rotten Tomatoes?
This film has an 85%.
That's what I'm saying. What? How?
If this movie came out today, it would not have.
No,
an 85%.
it wouldn't. And I'm trying to the critical reception to this was so positive. And again, as we were saying earlier, they kind of were like, oh, this anti-consumer message and blah blah blah.
The 80s were a weird time, man.
I guess it's shocking to me because I feel like sometimes they were a little harsher on movies that were very effects focused. Like Tron came out and nobody cared about it. And Tron is a goofy movie. I mean, by no means is it classic cinema, but I feel like it's a more successful endeavor than Gremlins. But Gremlins is a very similar movie where it's like its effects are the reason this movie kind of exists.
Yeah.
Similar to Tron. But Tron, when that came out, it kind of got ignored, whereas Gremlins, I guess it was just the timing was right because that kind of horror comedy trend was sort of happening right around that time. People were more receptive to it. But it is shocking to me that it has such a positive rating. Like it has such a high tomato score.
I mean, I really do think that its character development was the main flaw. They had everything there that could have created a film that I would have enjoyed. If they would have had 50 less Gremlins, I think I would have enjoyed this film more. Less is more, people. When will Hollywood learn less is more?
They got to get their act together. So as far as people telling you about this movie and like, oh, you've got to see it, do you think this movie's reputation is merited? I think the answer is clear, but you tell me, over or underrated?
So I've actually only been told to watch this film by about 3 people in my entire life,
including me, for this podcast.
That's correct. And truthfully, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, that's a movie like I'll watch with on TV with commercials." And it's like, 1, why would you ever do that? And 2, now that I've seen it, I can't take recommendations from you anymore. This is a tough one. I mean, I think because I'm not a child, it's hard. Because all the people that have recommended me to watch this film saw it as a child.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's hard.
I'm just gonna come on out and say it, and I know people are gonna hate me for it, but this movie is a little overrated. I liked the effects. There are elements of it I liked, but like, man, it was all over the place, and it was so hard to just like tap in or invest into like anything that was happening, because every time you thought it was taking you in one direction with the character, or like, okay, I think I'm gonna like this character because of this, it kind of just abandons it and then kind of goes full on into special effects like creature action mode. So I never really cared about Billy. I never really cared about his girlfriend. I never cared about anybody, really. I mean, I thought the best part of the movie was like the middle portion where like all the people were getting killed in like the most ridiculous ways, like the woman just being tossed out the window in her chair. I didn't invest in this movie, and so I didn't really care about anything. Like, I thought Gizmo was the best part, and I was like, oh, he's cute. But I didn't really find myself all that attached to anybody, and was kind of just bored. I was like, this is cool, I guess, but I'm not that into it. So I guess final ratings, how many on a scale of 1 to 5 gizmos, with 5 gizmos being your highest recommendation and 1 being your lowest, how many gizmos does Gremlins get?
I'm going to give it 2.5 gizmos.
All right. I think I'm going to do the same. I'd say probably 2.5, maybe bordering on 3, because I almost don't want to be mean to this movie.
Yeah.
It's such an unassuming movie that it's like I almost feel like we're the bullies. Now we're the bullies who are kicking people in the shins.
Yep.
But
Child Alex, though, 5 gizmos.
5 gizmos, totally. Oh, yeah. If I'd seen this when I was a kid, I'm sure I would have loved it. Yeah, explosions, unnecessary violence. I totally would have dug this.
Yep.
Yeah, so this is one instance of a movie that neither of us saw that we probably should have seen much, much earlier.
Yep.
But there you go, Gremlins. If you agree with us, let us know in the comments. You can reach out to me on Twitter at YayShondorman, and like totally, I have a feeling I'm going to get attacked tremendously for not liking this movie. Alex, where can people reach you?
You can find me at Mr. Alex Beard.
Yeah, just
on Twitter.
Just find us, and I have a feeling we're gonna get a little beat up.
Yeah,
but it's all right. That's what this is all about. With that being said, I think we've pretty much covered Gremlins. Alex, thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And there you go. So if you haven't seen Gremlins already, probably don't see it. I think you'll be okay. And then we will tune in again. We will be back. When the show first airs, these first few episodes have already been recorded, but moving forward, we want to start to get some suggestions from people, movies that you love that you want to suggest that not a lot of people have seen, that you think we haven't seen. I know there are tons of movies that Alex and myself and our other hosts haven't seen that we are looking forward to watching. So thank you for tuning in, and have a wonderful, wonderful day or night, depending on when you're listening to this.
Bye-bye. Hey, Shawn, I actually have something for you.
Oh, yeah? What is it?
It's a gift.
Oh,
so here, why don't you just go ahead and open it up?
oh wow! Thank you. Oh, it's furry. It's cute. Wait a minute.